Hey everyone, for those who tuned in to the live today, I briefly mentioned my interest on Native American history. And for those who are also interested in learning a little bit more about Native Americans, there's this great book, and I've recommended it before. It's called The Earth Shall Weep by James Wilson. This book basically covers the history of and traditions and customs of Native Americans from the East Coast to the West Coast in America. This is written by James Wilson. He's a recipient of the Ford Foundation grant and a member of the Executive Committee of Survival, which is an international organization that campaigns for the rights of indigenous people throughout the world. He has worked with Native Americans for over 20 years, all throughout North America. And he gives great accounts on the accounts that great accounts on history, traditions, etc. He also mentions that a lot of their history and traditions have been lost because a lot of traditions, a lot of knowledge was passed down orally in a lot of Native American nations, tribes, peoples. In fact, when Native Americans first came in contact with Europeans and they were introduced to this idea of writing down information, Native Americans, according to this book, saw it as kind of ridiculous, as in how can you forget your history, where you come from, your knowledge, so much so that you need to write it down? That's pathetic. So it's kind of interesting that for Native Americans, the literacy, it's kind of silly and informs a lot about point of view, different cultures, and I feel like diving in completely into this basically the civilization that I have no relationship to, that I had no knowledge of. What it does is you start to question, what else don't I know? What else do I assume? What else do I just drive by and just, yeah, that's just what it is. Why would I question it? I feel like when you step in to ask questions and you learn about other cultures, you learn way more about yourself, because that's a part of yourself that you need to give up in order for somebody else to come in. So if you have time, which I'm pretty sure we all do, sit down, read something new, read something outrageous to your mind, because you never really approach it. You might find, anyway, I'm almost done. What I meant to say is that when you approach something new without prejudice, without the intention to initially judge it, you create room for yourself to be surprised, for yourself to like something, for yourself to identify with something or somebody very different from you. And this is something that I have found with simply reading a book about a different people, which essentially are not very different from any of us. We all, in essence, we all maintain the same value of love, compassion, respect, freedom. Try it out. Try something new.